That's bad.
Alright, what's going on, guys? Back out in the garage again today working on the 55. I got the turbo hot side all done minus the wastegate. I want to wait until the radiator's in just to be extra sure that it's not going to go into it or anything like that, which there should be plenty of room because like I said in the last video, I'm going to have the radiator in the 6-cylinder spot in front of the core support, so there should be plenty of room. Got a J-bend coming out of the passenger side looping right up into it, and then the merge here steps immediately up into 3-inch. The cold side should be pretty simple too, just have to make a little deal into here real quick. Basically we just need like a 90 up and a 90 into it. Nothing real crazy there, but we are trucking right along on this thing. And the cage finally showed up yesterday. Jeez, that took a while. I ordered that almost 3 weeks ago and it was supposed to be next day shipped. So I will probably get started on that pretty soon. Rip everything out of here, punch our holes through the floor so we can set everything in place. It is a pretty basic 10-point, like 850 cage. But I think what I want to do now, since everything I'm pretty sure showed up to get the motor together, let's get the motor together. This is the aluminum 5.3 that came out of the ARC-7, James Brown. Gen 4 rods and pistons, stock crank, BTR stage 3 turbo cam there. You know, just a proven basic setup. 243 heads, dual valve springs, just putting some fresh bearings in it. It's got fresh cam bearings in it, and we might change the color up on it. Not really sure. I do dig my gold motors, but might go back to that classic Chevy orange. So yeah, I'm gonna start throwing that together. Got our oil pan and head gaskets in here. This is a Chinese knockoff of the Holley. I think it's the 302.2 or 302.1. I don't remember for sure, but one of those. So I'm gonna dig this thing out and we'll start putting it together. All right. Got the motor dug out, got a lot of the pieces laid out. Yeah, now I'm just going to get everything here cleaned as best I can, cut the wrapping off the block, and then we'll start putting it together. We'll start with the crank. I need to clean that up. I want to take some emery cloth over the journals, which, I mean, they're pretty darn good, but I just want to double check, make sure everything's nice and kosher. It's like Christmas morning, man. Except I had to pay for it myself. I'm hoping to just get the long block all together. I don't know, might be able to get the heads on it today too. Just trying to get as much done as possible, so I'll probably just set up the tripod, just get to work. got the bottom end in it, spins over nice and freely. And I did find one thing on the crank that I had to kind of fix as best I could. So if I ever have an issue with this motor, it'll probably be on the number 4 rod bearing. But I'm pretty confident it'll be all right. And I polished that crank as good as I could. I think we'll be in business. I've definitely ran a lot worse. I was just being kind of finicky on this one. So next up, we can get the cam in it, get the lifters and everything in it, lifter trays, and start swapping the springs onto the 243 heads and try and get this thing together, you know? All right, so I got the motor all painted, I got the heads all painted, still have to change the springs in the heads, but I wanted to let it all dry tonight because it's starting to get pretty late. So I can let this dry, throw the springs in the heads tomorrow, and then get those on. These are just some dummy A62s that I had laying around to cover the heads and everything, or cover the cylinders. And I was really, really close to redoing the gold, but I was like, man, everybody's already bummed enough at me for not putting a small block or a big block in this thing. So I figured we should at least throw a little bit of old school flavor on the LS, and maybe that'll lighten people's mood a little bit. And for anybody who's interested, because I didn't know about this until a couple of years ago, they sell cast coat aluminum like engine paint that, as long as you do a good job cleaning the heads, it looks like basically brand new aluminum heads. So anybody who's interested, there you go. Looks pretty good, I think, especially on camera. But you got to make sure that you clean the heads really good. So like some oven cleaner, power wash them, whatever you got to do. If you got to wire wheel them a little bit, because if you don't, they will look like these, which to me, I don't know how well it's going to show on camera, but to me, it looks like those are just spray painted silver. Pretty big difference between the two. So I'm going to let all this stuff dry for tonight. I've got the engine pretty much as far as I can go. Got the cam in it, lifters in it, lifter trays are all bolted down, timing gear and chain and everything. We just installed it dot to dot like they recommend on the BTR cam sheet. So installed dot to dot. So that's what we did. Nothing special. It's a kind of a caveman brain dead LS. You don't need to measure, like get your degree wheel and stuff like that out. So just putting the Legos together. The crank pulley got to use off the other block. I would have swore that I had another timing cover gasket. I know I've got one for the rear that I need to put on, but I'll do that once I get it up on the cherry picker. I guess I'm gonna have to rob the old one off that motor when I pull the crank pulley off. I don't know. Seems like I would have had one. Got a little bit of everything, but I've used so much of it that I'm kind of running out of the important stuff. All I've got is a bunch of like truck oil pans and stuff left. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow should be able to get the motor buttoned up. And then I think in the next video, we'll start, you can't really see it, we'll start putting the cage in the car. So anyway, I'm going to call it a night here, and we'll let this stuff dry, and then we'll continue it for you in just a couple seconds, for me tomorrow. Alright, got the motor all together. It's looking pretty dang good. Heck yeah, brother. The only things left to do are timing cover gasket. I got to bolt down the valley cover. I've got a brand new gasket for that too. Put the injectors in. Change the springs all. Got some BTR dual 660 springs. Got those all swapped over. Clean up the valves. All that's looking pretty dang good. I wanted to use these shaft rockers that I got, but they just didn't seem to jive with something. I don't know if I need longer push rods on the exhaust side or what, but it didn't feel right. So not really sure what's going on with those, so I figured to heck with it, I'll just throw some stock ones back on. I know that the stock ones will be fine for the power that we're going to be making, which should be in the neighborhood of like 8 to 9 at the wheels. I think 9's on the higher side, trying to get kind of greedy with it. But like 8 at the tires, 850 at the tires, I think is pretty reasonable. So yeah, the stock rockers will handle that just fine, which actually saved me a step of not having to paint the taller Holley valve covers that I got. I was able to use these shorties here. Then we can just bolt the coil packs right to that. But yeah, looking pretty dang good. Oh, and I got to drill and tap the oil pan for the turbo drain, which will be in this neighborhood. The oil pan... Oh, we're losing you. We're losing you. We're losing you. The oil pan, for people who may not be aware, is a China knockoff of the Holley. So the Holley ones are like $400, give or take. This thing off Amazon, exact same pan, just doesn't have Holley stamped in it. It was like $130 shipped. And it comes with the pickup, comes with all the bolts, comes with the gasket, complete kit. Our goal was just to get the motor together, and it is pretty much together. Oil pan, we can do that when we drop it in. The valley cover, we can do that after it's already in the car. Same with the timing cover, and get the crank pulley on it. The main thing we wanted to accomplish today was getting the motor actually together, unwrapped, all the pieces in it, all the important stuff, and gosh darn it if we didn't do that. So you can probably hear that it's starting to rain, and it is a little after midnight, so I think we're going to wrap it up here, call it a day. I'll try and get this video up tomorrow, and then, like I said, in the next one, probably get started on the cage. Ooh-wee, this thing's looking good, man. Looking damn good. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for subscribing, clicking that bell to get the notifications, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.